Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our March 17th board meeting. Paul, if you want to go ahead and take roll, certify the quorum and proof of notice.
Got Joe Mulcahy, George Custis, Nathaniel Monks, Ryan McAdon, Uwe Roper, Keith Cogleton, and Frank Canistra present, so we have a full quorum, and notice was posted in accordance with Florida statute.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Paul had sent out a copy of the minutes from last meeting and then a revised little tweak to that. Did everybody have a chance to review it? Okay, any questions, comments? Can I get a motion to approve? Motion. Uwe?
Second.
So we have a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Prior meeting minutes are approved. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump into item number 6, which is the President's Report. As this is our final board meeting before the March 26th annual meeting, I'd like to briefly highlight the progress we've made this season and the strong momentum we continue to see across the community. And before I begin, I'd also like to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. A major milestone this season was finalizing our agreement with the Pelican Marsh Golf Club to add additional parking across from the community center. Well, this parking will be designated for employees. It effectively increases our overall parking capacity by shifting employee parking off-site and freeing up space in the main lot. This was a critical step, as without additional parking capacity, we would not have been able to move forward with the community center expansion. Equally important, we successfully renegotiated our telecommunications agreement with Comcast, extending the contract for 8 years and generating approximately $400,000 in annual savings, and that's over $3 million in total. Together, these two accomplishments, the parking expansion and responsible financial planning, have positioned us to move forward with the community center expansion in a thoughtful and financially responsible way. Importantly, this allows us to advance this project, hopefully without the need for special assessments or increases in annual fees. We are now positioned to move forward with the planning for a 3,000 plus square foot expansion designed to support the growing needs of our residents, including expanding the fitness space, a dedicated spin room, and additional multi-purpose space. To support this effort, the board established a long-range planning committee, along with a dedicated subcommittee working with our architect to develop design concepts and evaluate the best path forward. As we move forward, this project will require county approval and approval from Pelican Marsh residents. This expansion reflects direct feedback from our community and was identified as a top priority through our long-range planning process. Based on that input and the progress to date, we believe we are well positioned to move forward through the approval process in a thoughtful and responsible way. We've also made progress on the landscape master plan with a phased approach to enhance both the entry experience and key activity areas around the community center and courts. Beyond these initiatives, what continues to stand out is just how active and engaged our community has been throughout the season. Our court sports program continues to be one of the most active parts of the community. This season, Pelican Marsh fielded 18 combined league teams across tennis and pickleball, reflecting the continued growth and popularity of our racket sports programs. We are currently in the midst of our Spring Classic, which is our newly renamed club championship, now bringing together both tennis and pickleball. We completed the women's doubles this past weekend, with men's doubles scheduled for this coming weekend, followed by mixed doubles the following weekend. We also hosted both tennis and pickleball pro league events this season, showcasing the level of play and enthusiasm within the community. And we have our annual trip to the Miami Open coming up this Thursday, which continues to be a great opportunity for residents to experience world-class tennis together. I also want to recognize Victor Montiero, who has stepped into an exciting new opportunity as Court Sports Director of Greyhawk Golf Club of the Everglades. We had a very well-attended and meaningful send-off on Friday, reflecting the positive impact he's had on our community, and we wish him all the best in this next chapter. At this same time, I'm pleased to share that Ransom Bratton has joined us as a head professional, ensuring continued leadership and momentum to our court sports programs. As participation across both tennis and pickleball remains strong, we are also actively interviewing for an additional professional who will be primarily focused on pickleball. This will also allow us to continue supporting both programs at a high level and ensure we are appropriately resourced across the entire court sports community. This season will conclude with our community end-of-season party themed the Pelican Marsh Last Rodeo, scheduled for Wednesday, April 8th from 6 to 9 p.m. It's always one of the highlights of the year, bringing together residents from across the community to celebrate another successful season. As we approach the annual meeting, I want to thank the board members, committee volunteers, and the staff for their time, leadership, and commitment throughout the season. We also have several residents who stepped forward to serve on the board, which reflects the continued strength and engagement of our community. And then in closing, Pelican Marsh is in a very strong position with thoughtful planning, disciplined financial management, and an engaged community. I'm confident this momentum will continue as we move forward into next season. Thank you, and that's the end of my president's report. And Paul, I'll turn it over to you for manager.
Thank you, Joe. It's been a very busy season with many residents taking advantage of all the amenities, activities, and events that we have to offer. Parking spaces fill up fast, especially on days when we have additional events that are scheduled. So if you were able to walk, ride your bike, or even carpool to the community center, that is appreciated to help alleviate the parking pressure. To give you some perspective on how busy we've been, I'm going to show you some charts of our usage across the departments over the past few months. Pull that up. Okay, so you can see here from in December and then through January and February how activities has gone along. Pickleball, it picked up definitely in January, but we saw a little slight dip in February. I mean, obviously February had a few more less days in January, but it did dip a little bit as far as number of players and number of plays. Same thing occurred in tennis, where it dipped with the number of unique players and also the number of plays in February. And the same thing was for gym. It dropped a little bit on the number of people using the gym. And same with group fitness. Less people took group fitness classes in February as opposed to January. However, the spa did tick up a little bit with the new contractors, the two new masseuses and therapists. These drawn a lot of positive attention, and we've gotten a lot more activity in those departments. Activities, however, did pick up a lot. February is generally the month that Lynn has most of her big events scheduled. So a couple of music events were here, other activities. Mentalist was here, drawing up larger crowds. So that's why you see the numbers tick up in February. Also, bocce was higher than in January.
Paul, question of clarification on activities. That include things like trivia and
Trivia,
all encompassing?
yes, we had the dueling pianist,
Yes.
and a couple other, shows and activities that were, more heavier in February than January. That's why you see the numbers. Yep.
Question.
Yes.
Bocce,
Mm-hmm.
that number said like 1,500 or so participants, 14 or 1,500 participants.
That is, no, that is the total number of, times people play bocce. It's not the number total. We're still working on the system to carve out the number of unique bocce players.
Activities. You want to screen.
I'm sorry, on bocce. Thank you. Oh, actually, no, it's here. So, unique, 85 unique users. Well, hold on, boy.
Sorry, Paul, I messed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
There you
There we
go.
go. Bocce. Yeah, so again, yeah, so that is the total number of plays. But we're working on the system to carve out the number of unique players that made up those number of plays. And we should have that done by next month.
Okay.
Yeah. Get my glasses fixed. Any other questions on the charts and the numbers? Okay, great. All right, great. To help support the cleaning staff, I would appreciate residents and their guests, throwing away their trash, and generally cleaning up after themselves in the areas, to make it nice for others coming in after. Also a reminder to tennis and bocce players, if you plan to go into the community center or visit courtside after play, please make sure your shoes are properly cleaned, or even better yet, change into another pair of shoes to prevent clay from being tracked in. We appreciate everyone's help in keeping our facilities clean for the enjoyment of everyone. Also, everyone by now should have received the annual meeting packet that was sent out last week for the annual meeting scheduled for next week, on March 26th. If you have not received your packet, please contact the admin office. And please make sure that you fill out and return your proxy for voting before the meeting starts.
Well, just remind me, what time is the meeting next?
7 p.m.
7.
next Thursday. As a reminder, this time of year also brings out many residents who are biking, walking, and or jogging throughout the community. So when you're driving through Pelican Marsh, make sure you and your guests are following the posted speed limits and making full stops at all the stop signs. Let's keep everyone safe this season. And lastly, as always, the staff and I appreciate everyone's help and support throughout the busy season. And as always, we welcome comments and suggestions to make improvements where needed. That's my report. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Paul. Moving on through the agenda, Brian, treasurer's report.
Thanks, Joe. We give Paul a second to pull it up here. While he does that, I just want to take a second and note some sad news. One of our committee members, Ron Willer, passed away last week. We were very saddened to hear about that. Ron was a very thoughtful contributor on a monthly basis to our finance meetings. You can always count on Ron of looking through all the details and raising any questions that added value to the community. We just want to send our thoughts to his family and let everyone know about that. Looking at the financial highlights, our operating deficit year-to-date February was $63,000, $18,000 worse than budget. Now, I do want to note there are 2 months out of the year where we have an additional payroll cycle just based on how the calendar falls. So the operating deficit just reflects the fact that we had 3 payroll cycles instead of our normal 2. So you'll see that deficit decrease as we continue through the year. Focusing on the $18,000 that are worse than budget, really it's made up from expenses. And you see our total expenses in the graph on the right. The budget was $828,000 of total expenses versus $846,000 of actuals. The actuals were worse than budget mainly due to maintenance, utilities, and other expenses. One of the big components of the other expenses was the fact that we have put money out in terms of application fees, permits, architectural design costs related to the community center. So those items, if we go forward with the community center, will ultimately be capitalized and taken away from expenses. but for now, we're showing them, reflecting them as expenses. Food and beverage, courtside sales through February, $305,000, 12% higher than last year. Really a strong start for the year for courtside. Also a strong start are our resale fees. We have 25 net homes sold through February, generating $188,000 for the community. This exceeds budget by 13 homes. It looks like we'll exceed the budget if this trend continues. You may recall our budget 65 homes for the entire year. These additional funds first go to our reserve for repairs and funding of our reserve, and then secondly for our capital fund.
Brian, are those budgeted on a cycled basis with peaks and valleys in the year, or is it a flat budget across the year?
I don't recall.
We fluctuated,
You didn't plan on a high season and a low
So we
season?
go history from prior years when the highest we felt and lowest, and we kind of model that,
So that really does speak to the
Yes.
increase then. That's a
Yeah.
big increase.
We'll talk a little bit more about how those resale fees help us in terms of our cash position in a second, but I do want to note, just like every month, the full treasury reports, financials are always available on the Pelican Marsh website, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Paul. On the next page, we just want to give a little color in terms of what we project to have in terms of cash and securities at the end of the year. So on line 1, you see our opening balance of January 1st, 2026, in our operating fund, our reserve fund, our capital fund, and a new fund that we have this year, which is a building reserve. You may recall that we carved out $300,000 from our operating assessment this year in case we move forward with expanding the building. You see on line 2, our planned funding and our planned expenditures. Once again, the funding of our reserve and our capital comes entirely from resale fees. Okay, so those numbers I would expect to increase as we go through the year, but those are our budgeted numbers. And then that leads us to a projected balance at the end of the year of about $900,000 in our operating fund, in our reserve fund, $315,000, in our capital fund, $400,000, and once again, our building fund. Just a couple of highlights on the planned expenditures. First, in the reserve column, this reflects mostly updates to our ballroom here and to the playground. Now, if we make a decision to expand the community center, we'll probably recommend that we defer updating the ballroom until we also finish the expansion, because we want everything within the community center to kind of like jive and look as one, and we certainly don't want to put in new things if there's going to be possibly construction going on. Secondly, with the playground, the thought is that the playground is going to move to the back of the building, so we don't want to upgrade the equipment now if we're just going to be replacing it. Lastly, on the capital side, the majority of that capital item, we've presented in the past couple of meetings a landscaping plan, a 2-year plan to upgrade the landscaping around the campus. So predominantly that reflects the first year of that plan. I will say that as we look at expanding the community center, we've looked at a 10-year cash forecast. And as we look at available funds for capital items, we are going to have to develop a disciplined approach in terms of what we want to spend money on, why we're paying off any construction loans. So I would anticipate that capital spending for, if we do move forward, would be in the neighborhood of $75,000 to $100,000 per year. So it's really going to be important for us to focus on that, knowing that we have a construction loan that we'll want to be paying back as well. Any questions at all? No? Joe, that's my report.
Okay, excellent report, Brian. Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 9, the committee reports. Just go around the horn. Start with you, Frank. Any updates on bocce?
Very light. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. The only thing we have for bocce ball is the bocce ball bash, which is this Friday. Music, dancing, dinner. So today is the last day to sign up for that. There's a beginners on Thursday also, teaching for bocce also, but other than that, that's all I have to say today. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Frank. And then next up, Keith, CDD and County Projects Oversight Committee update.
Yeah, not a lot new on the Vanderbilt Beach or Airport Pulling Road activities, but the main gate on Tamiami work is slated to begin May 4th. That will be reduced to one lane exit only for the duration of the summer until the work is completed in about October 1st is the target deadline. Other than that, everything's moving along on plan. I feel like they have that project under much better management than we did the last go around with Vanderbilt Beach and Airport Pulling, which seemed to take a long time from my perspective. So I think all in all, we're in good place for the summer, and hopefully by next fall, we'll see some significant improvements. During that time, the airport pulling gate will become the 24/7 gate. It'll be staffed 24/7, so that'll be the main exit and entrance if you're going in or out during the evening hours or late at night. Otherwise, you can exit on Tamiami, but you can't come back in that way ever during the course of the day. So be looking for that. Okay.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate that. Uwe, Fitness Committee, any updates?
Yeah, so on the fitness committee, a lot of the last meeting was on March 10th, and a lot of the attention focused on reviewing the new building plans, which affect fitness quite a bit. So Paul presented the drawings. There's quite a bit of discussion there about that. I think people are pretty excited about it. The initial layouts look really good. There's a little bit discussion about maybe tweaking the spa area one more time. In connection with that, we had a discussion on spa. Spa's been very busy, like Paul mentioned. It looks like we have a good little thing going there with our spa business. I think there's a new hire. She's doing very well. The other ones are doing well. The bookings are doing great. And then there was this discussion about maybe taking that spa area, tweaking it a bit more to make it into a real tiny but beautiful little spa spot. Another discussion was on housekeeping, and we've had these before, people using phones during the gym hours, people hogging machines. So there's discussion about continuing vigilance. So Patrick has volunteered to kind of keep an eye out on it. But I also encourage anybody that uses the gym to, be respectful of other people using the gym. Housekeeping and cleaning has been an issue in the gym before. I think, Paul, recently additional cleaning staff have been hired. Is that correct?
No, we modified our schedule. So we had a third-party service that supplements our cleaning that were here during the day. We moved them now. They come in at nights, overnight. So they can thoroughly clean the gym without interruptions of members working out. So when people come in first thing, it's all ready to go.
Good. So a lot of positive stuff. The last item I have is on a committee member appointment. I'll leave that for the next agenda item.
Okay. Thanks, Uwe. I'm going to ask Chris Diorio, who's the chairman of Court Sports Committee, is going to give us an update on court sports.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy down at the courts. We changed our traditional format of how we were doing tournaments as a result of the fact we weren't driving numbers at both pickleball and tennis. Those numbers are way up this year. To give you an idea, we just finished the pickleball. 72 people in the community played in the pickleball events. There were 24 for the men's tournament, 18 for the ladies, and 28 for the mixed, which was great. Really well attended, really fun. I think everybody walked away with 2 days of a lot of fun. Now we're among the the tennis, which is, we've got 22 men that are playing, 16 ladies versus 0 a year ago played in the tournament. And currently 22 mixed teams or mixed people have signed up. Those tournaments, the men's are this week, and then the mix is the following week. To kind of echo a bunch of stuff that Joe had said, we sad to see our friend Victor head off, but a great opportunity, reflective of great things at the community here for our pros to be able to go and take another job as a head guy is a terrific thing. He'll be sadly missed. Somebody had said, do we consider Victor our ex-pro? I said, no, Victor will always be our former pro and our forever friend. And Victor, did a great job here, but he did a great job with the help of what I consider to be two of the best people I've ever worked with in any type of a tennis situation, being Johan and Allie, and certainly let's not forget Meg and Mary in the shop. I mean, they are tirelessly going about everything we have. We hired on Ransom Bratton, who we had met, terrific young man moving here with his soon-to-be wife. And he's comes with a wealth of abilities in tennis, and he will easily be able to pick up and help out with the pickleball. Every offering that we have for both tennis with the teams is also the same as pickleball. There's nothing any different, whether it be lessons, clinics, team events. We've all talked about that. It's very, very important that everybody in this community feel that, you know, their sport is just as important as anybody else's. That's been the biggest thing, and a huge personal, but a committee thanks from everybody on this board to support us here. We've had a couple of other great things happen. Alan Button, his Algo Tennis Group, gave $600 for recycled balls, which is a program we do. There's going to be a Pelican Marsh women's member guest here in April. Another huge thanks to Irv Davis. Those who don't know him, Irv's turned 90 this year. And instead of having a party, Irv gave a massive donation to St. Jude's on behalf of Pelican Marsh Court Sports Community. So if you see Irv around, please say thank you. He's just a great guy. The travel spring will have 3 pickleball teams and 3 tennis teams. And the nice part is a lot of the tennis teams have already started to begin to try to work with Ransom. And we're going to have a captain's meeting pretty soon for all the teams to be able to have coaching and have a regular practice and whatever the needs that they want. We have a change in terms of designing how we'd like to see the lessons go as to alleviate some of the morning play and the rush, so that we use the entire day. So there's not a backup in either sport, because we have that for sure. We had 150 to 200 spectators for the Pickleball Pro League, and we had a large event, as you guys know, in the fall. There's a couple of facility items that we made a recommendation in the meeting, passed on to you guys, with regard to the cleaning service, which I think it appears is working well in the first week or two here. And I thank you and Paul and the efforts there to change that. I think the residents have clearly felt that, first of all, the place looks great and it's ready to go first thing in the morning, which is nice. We also have asked the board to just keep us abreast of any offers or recommendations we make. We've got a water fountain we've asked to be put behind pickleball, and if you guys at times could just let the community know where that goes, because our philosophy is we don't leave anything on the table. If there's a facility issue or a governance issue, we immediately pass it on to you guys, so that there's really never anything where we'll discuss it and we don't kick it back to next month. We go forward with it. If it's a programming issue or an event to coordinate, we'll deal with that. But any governance or financial, we got to get to you guys right away.
You know, Chris, I think it's important just to give you a little feedback in terms of the water fountain request for the pickleball courts. You know, as you know, we've probably spent well over $450,000 in the last 2 years in the pickleball area. And as I mentioned during my treasury report, it's really important as we go into a major project for us to have the discipline in terms of capital spend. So I know I've been taking an approach that before we commit to any additional somewhat major projects, and my understanding is this could be anywhere between $25,000 and $40,000. Let's step back and let's wait and see where we're moving in terms of expanding the community center and where those funds are coming from. So I know I've pushed to defer that for now.
No, and I appreciate it. I just think it's if we could just have that dialogue on if anything, just because people ask the question.
Yeah, still on the radar, but once again, it has to fit into an overall, view of the
Completely
community.
understand.
Yeah.
And excuse me, Chris, thanks. I'm Brian. Not to be short-sighted. And I understand the situation with the finances and we have to spread the monies out. Absolutely. But when we talk about things, no matter where it is, bocce, tennis, pickle, I believe we need to finish what we started. And what I'm talking about on the pickleball side is we still have half cement, half dirt. Doesn't look good. We host, we play ourselves, doesn't look good. It needs to be completed.
Can you
That-
specify, Frank, where you mean
Yeah,
half?
behind courts 4, 5, and 6, where
Okay,
there's, oh, hold on, let me finish.
I am.
There's we understand there's things, the water, where the water thing is gonna be for the fountain, that's fine. We can go around it. There's people that I've talked to that are, their specialty in that, pickleball members, that said, why isn't this finished? Why do we have to look at dirt? It's the same thing. You, if a ball goes there, whatever, you have to get it, and you have to step on the dirt. Doesn't look right. I understand that, like I said, there's monies going up everywhere, but in order to do the project right and make the campus looks, and it looks great already, you can always tweak a little bit. So when you're talking about the water station, please think about the awnings or more umbrellas back there and finishing back there to where there's no dirt showing, where we have to trench through it during the rain the other day, when it was wet and dirt was coming back on the courts, correct, Keith?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
but to specify where it comes in with the committee, we've made that recommendation to the board. So those recommendations are at the board level. They are
we'll
no,
extend the cement too? I wasn't aware of that.
no, that was never brought to the.
Right, that's why I'm bringing it up now, because there's a lot of people talking about that,
That's right.
asking about it.
That's right now on the board's.
Yeah, okay,
Not.
Yep, thanks
That's all.
thanks for mentioning it, first time
Yeah,
I'm hearing about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. That's all, I just wanted to get up, because
Thank
a lot of people are asking, and we host tournaments back there, and so.
Sure.
The eye candy, the optics are very important, because the rest of this campus is so beautiful. So don't forget about the little parts is what we're saying, that's all.
The other issue that we bring to the board is the fact that we've got some issues with the light posts. So we have some rust and rot that are happening. We had a light post fall between courts 8 and 9, but it really affects the entire facility because all of our lighting abuts bocce, pickleball, tennis. This is something where we have a crew coming in to look at it because it's a pretty sophisticated situation. They're both rotted at the top and on the bottom. As I know I could speak to Keith in terms of treating and testing metal. It's more an eye situation and hopefully none will also
Chris, who
fall.
has lead on coordinating? Paul, do you have?
Paul has the lead
Paul
on
has
that,
the lead
Keith.
on
That
that,
was
yes.
brought up to the executive committee and just so everyone is aware of it, Paul has somebody coming in to evaluate each and every one of the posts. Those posts are reserved. Some of them are due for replacement this year. They're all planned within some next 5 years. What we might need to do is to accelerate those replacements based on the report that we'll receive.
Okay. Lastly, the only thing I'd like to mention is I know that there's been a very small faction of people who have come out and somewhat acted out in not a great fashion about being upset that we don't have an open meeting. Well, us among the other committees don't have open meetings. There's no open meeting for finance. There's no open meeting for long-range planning. Be honest with you, I'm more concerned about finance than I am about my racket sports game. I don't understand. However, there is a vehicle. People can stop and talk to us. There is an email of which there's always an open line of communication. I think I see almost everybody here 2 or 3 times a week down there, and as with many other members on the committee.
Yeah, and when it comes to the committees, I would really encourage people to come to the board meetings for those things.
Yes.
So we've had committee meetings in the past that were open, and a lot of community members came to those meetings to express their opinions and views. But the committee isn't in a position to really do anything about
Correct.
that, but the board is.
Correct.
So it's more appropriate that we encourage those people to come to the board meetings and provide their input at board meetings rather than push for observing committee meetings would be my thinking.
As I think most of the people on our committee always say, we can make recommendations for governance, or we can make recommendations on how to spend money, but we don't have the ability to do it. And as I said earlier in the meeting, we push everything to you guys as soon as something comes. We make a decision, make a recommendation and go. But anyway, many thanks to everybody here supporting it. We've had a great season. And certainly it will be carrying into the spring. And most importantly, thanks so much to Johan and our entire staff.
Yeah, we really appreciate what all our committees do and what you guys do. It helps a lot, so.
Thanks for the support.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Okay, we'll jump into new business and Uwe, I'll turn this item 10.1 over to the approval of a member for fitness.
Yeah, so this was the last item that was discussed at the fitness meeting the other day, and we have an open spot on the fitness committee, and the fitness committee has recommended the appointment of Harry Covington to join the fitness committee. Personally, I think that would be a great fit. I've heard good things from others about the potential appointment as well, and I was going to motion an appointment of Harry Covington to the fitness committee.
Okay. Any questions about Harry? Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, Uwe. Next up is the approval of a proposed amendment to the foundation design review guidelines. And before we move to a vote, I just wanted to briefly summarize what this amendment does. This is a new section to our design review guidelines focused on maintaining the architectural integrity and the consistency of each neighborhood within Pelican Marsh. It gives us clearer guidance around materials, design, and overall scale, and ensures that new construction and renovations are consistent with the established character of each neighborhood. This has been posted multiple times in accordance with our requirements, and the communities have had the opportunity to review and provide input. With that, I'm just going to turn it back for consideration. Does anybody on the board have any questions? Anybody in the community have any questions? We've brought this up a couple times. I'm sorry? Did you see the
There was
agenda?
a
We
write-up
printed out and it
included
was all-
with the board
In
meeting.
a nutshell, what it's looking to prevent is from somebody coming in, tearing down a building and building a monstrosity. You know, it's basically meant to provide a guideline that anything somebody else might build is a similar size to that community, can exceed the largest building in that community, and similar architectural style.
Can't do the guidelines, one thing, documents are specific.
Yeah, except times are changing. That's the problem. I think we have more and more
30
people.
years ago.
Yeah, more and more people are renovating their places, wanting to make modifications because you get new residents, younger people coming into the community, and they want to make changes. So we've had various requests from expanding residences to putting metal roofs on and indeed we dealt with metal roofs on the condo boards. We've had now two, I think Claremont and Osprey.
Yeah, sorry.
Gone to metal roofs. Sooner or later, there will be requests to put metal roofs on houses as well. So I think, I think modifying these guidelines now helps us prepare for those applications because they will happen. We're a community that is at an age where there will be more and more turnover, and we have to start figuring out how we're going to deal with it.
Thanks for your comments, guys. Any other questions? Let's go ahead and move. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the amendments as presented.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And then, do we have any design review?
There's one. Came in late, so I made a printout for everybody on.
Okay. There was a Claremont submitted a request to repaint their front entry signs. The committee was unanimous to recommend for approval as submitted. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that wraps up the board meeting. Any additional comments from any of the board members? Thanks again for all of your help and support this past year. It's been a great board. Enjoyed working with everybody. Look forward to the annual meeting coming up next week. Any resident comments?
Anything online, Paul?
Dave? Dave, you want to come up to the?
Be interested in Paul and the board's observations since we're in year one of the electronic voting. How's it going? Do we see speedier results? Are we at our threshold already? Just
Good question. Get that one, Paul? Okay, pulling it up.
Whether they recommended echo in the room, but maybe it's their system at home, I'm not sure.
Paul?
Did you hear what Dave said?
Yeah, can you repeat what he said? What Dave said? I'm sorry.
Dave was asking about the electronic voting, how it's working.
Yes.
Got any feedback on that and where we're at?
I've heard nothing but positive comments from electronic voting, how easy it is to vote electronically. We were able to, with electronic voting, reach our quorum needed for the meeting within a week. So, so it was great. So, but if you have any issues with the electronic voting, let us know and we'll get it fixed. But so far, nothing but positive comments.
Well, what's the uptake so far? Like how many people are signed up? How many are not signed up?
As I said, last meeting, we have, of the 1,914 homes, 1,566 homes are signed up for electronic voting, which is approximately about 123 more than last year. So we're in the right direction of getting people each year to sign up. Luckily, when new people move in, we are introducing the electronic voting up front in their packet, and they usually say, yes, sign me up. So we're converting those as they move into the Pelican Marsh too, so.
Those that have signed up, are those that have signed up, how many have actually submitted votes? Do we have a number on that? How we're doing?
I think
how we're
when I
doing?
was looking at the numbers this morning, we have, this is electronic voting only. We have, we're right at, I think 730 votes turned in, or proxies turned in. Our minimum is 575 for a quorum, so we've already reached that. And we're just now opening up the manual ballots we mailed out in the mail, so we'll get that done. So we'll probably come in around 800 plus, as we always do.
Paul, question for you on the electronic voting. I've got at least 5 emails asking me to vote electronically. I'm assuming that only allows one vote. I only voted once, but are others seeing the same thing? I get
I heard
solicitation
the
every
same
day or
thing that
two.
a husband and a wife have both
Gotta-
received
Gonna have 5.
and what happens in that.
I have over the time, but I don't anymore. I only have the one.
I will check with Gig Quorum to make sure that they haven't an old duplication of old addresses in the system.
Okay,
I heard the same thing, that people voted and then they got the email again.
right.
I heard that.
Yeah.
We're looking at that too. But regardless, once you vote once, you can't vote again for that unit.
It doesn't erase, nothing happens like
No,
that, right?
It doesn't override
It
it or
goes
anything
on,
like
it does overwrite it.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does override it?
Yeah,
The second
If you
time you
vote a
vote,
second time, it will overwrite your previous vote. I
You
think.
have, but as far as, we only count one vote per unit.
Yeah.
An owner is allowed to go in and change their vote up to the meeting if they want.
Okay, okay. So it will overwrite, but
It's
it
only gonna
won't.
be one vote.
Yeah, but.
I just wanna make
count
sure
the
that
other
was-
votes that came in. It
Make
won't
sure you're
be
aware
two
of that.
votes.
Changing your mind till Thursday. One thing I can say about the electronic voting, and it's been positive, is I've had a lot of people come up from different communities around asking, what does it cost? Why aren't we doing this within our community? So it's getting some positive feedback as we're rolling it out at the foundation level.
Okay.
Any other comments about electronic voting? All right. Do we have a motion to, oh, we got more questions. Yep.
Just real quick, if we solve the problem with the exercise facility at off hours, the gate doesn't work.
I believe that is now finally been solved. We've talked with our club management system, and now there are, for some reason, the signal drops every so often. So now they've set a system where the system now resets itself every 10 minutes. So we don't lose the signal. So since they've done it about 2 weeks ago, it seems to be working.
Hi, I'm Terry O'Hara. First of all, thank you everybody on the board for your service. I have 2 questions. Other than the 2 landscaping plans are proposed and possibly the drinking fountain, are there any other significant funds planned for the courts or the grounds area in 2026?
No.
Okay. And for the fitness center expansion, and the parking across the street, is that a proxy in May for 3 million? Is that what the plan is?
That would be the plan, yes. We hope at the meeting next week, we'll actually be able to share an architectural video of what the community center, new community center would look like. And then we would send out a proxy vote with the final date we're talking. I think we said around May 10th, May 14th, because there's a hearing that we want to have in conjunction with that. So that would be the next timeline, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any final questions? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
And happy St. Patrick's Day.